Joy, how'd you cook your chicken?
Girl, I kind of cheat. All right, we are live, people. I'll tell you.
Mhm.
Welcome to Chat Her Up. Oh, I gotta go over here on Instagram. Let me go over here on Instagram. All right, people. Welcome to Chat Her Up. Today we are going to recap Real Housewives of Atlanta,
Okay.
season 16, episode 7, Nashville Hold'em. That was the name of this episode. All right, Callie, we're gonna start with the rating first before. Well, we could do that. I do you have a chapstick moment? It's a lot out there.
No, I didn't really bring one thing to pick up.
Well, I was going to just talk about gossip. There is Tasha K did an interview. Um, I don't know when it was. I don't know if it was yesterday or
Oh yeah.
or Monday. But Tasha K did a interview with some guy. I can't tell who he is, but allegedly, all this is alleged.
Mhm.
All this is alleged. I can't say that enough times and enough ways. And I wish I knew another language, so I'd say it in another language. But apparently, some guy is claiming that I'm assuming he's from Houston or used to live in Houston, and he used to run the door of alleged sex parties, and are allegedly, according to this guy, Britt's husband was a part of that. He used to be a frequent at these parties, and this gentleman not only is claiming that he worked the door, he was a participant, and eventually he would branch off and do his own, and that Britt Edie's husband was a part of it. And essentially, they're saying he is bi.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um, go on.
I don't know if I believe that at all, but what I do know is, you do have to be careful. I almost hate reporting this kind of stuff. So why am I doing it? Because it's out there. But
Right. I was kind of about to say
um,
that.
also, it really irritates me that in Atlanta, everybody's husband is going to eventually get the label of gay or bi. I don't care what the situation is. That always tends to happen. It's kind of jacked up. It's redundant and it's old because everybody is gay. Let them tell it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, I say this every time I think when we talk about somebody who might be on the down low. I wish that we would be more accepting so they don't feel like they have to be outed all the time. You know what I mean? I mean, because do I believe he's bi? I don't necessarily believe he's bi, but I wouldn't be shocked about it either. And he's probably bi, and she probably knows it. But I think it wasn't just a matter in his case. I don't think it was just here's another man in Atlanta. I'm sure he's gay. I think it's some of his mannerisms come off more feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that could be why some people might think he's gay. I just hate that it still has to be a conversation. I don't like that.
I can
But
agree with that.
yeah.
Kevin said that's not true. I don't know what I'm saying is not true. Kevin, you want to come on?
What's
Um,
not true, Kevin?
I had Kevin. I had already seen it though. I don't know if I could use it this way. I had already seen it. It's just certain things I wouldn't touch.
You had
If
already saw the rumor, you mean?
oh no, I did that wrong. I'm
Huh?
trying to no. I gave you ignore that.
Okay.
I was trying to no. I was trying to send him the link. You want to come
Oh,
on and talk, Kevin?
Kevin.
You're welcome to come on if you want to. Let me see if I can find a link to this stream yard.
Yeah, so I don't. The guy said he is the one that did the bending over. I think he said he's the bend over or something, and he said it probably happened up to 10 times maybe.
Yeah.
And Tasha was, she's
Of
animated
course,
Tasha.
not every man is gay. I didn't
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that
yeah.
every man is gay. I was saying that all the men that they tend to bring on this show
We'll get labeled
get
that way.
labeled gay. I'm not saying that of course they're not. That's absurd. I'm saying that far too often, it's almost, I think we had this conversation like in the first episode. All of their husbands at some point they're going to say it's gay. They said
Hmm.
it about Ralph. They said it. I did not hear it about Dennis, but they
They
got
said it
him
about Ralph.
messing with dogs, animals.
I
Like
never heard it about Ralph. Hmm.
I don't know if I think I did, but it's
Hmm.
just kind of common. It's an unfortunate like
Yeah.
they, of course, not every guy. I never heard that about Greg, but in the midst of arguments, they tend to do that. There's this. Here's Kevin. There's this.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi,
Can
Kevin.
you?
Hi.
Oh my God.
You so silly.
Kevin is in the building. Okay.
You want to review this episode with us?
Uh, yeah, I'm not the
Okay.
smartest, but I'm gonna try my best.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not saying every man is gay. I'm saying they tend to label them in
Mm-hmm.
the midst. It could be in the midst of anger, but Atlanta has that reputation. You don't hear that in other franchises unless there really is like a suspect. I don't think he doesn't give me feminine energy. He gives me
Metrosexual.
no. He gives me he a pimp. I'm just gonna be honest.
I won't say.
He
I won't
don't
say.
give me homosexual. He gives me pimp vibes. He gives me freak vibes.
Okay.
I'm not saying,
Yeah.
it's something. It was a picture before I met Britt Edie. I did Google her because in over the summer, I
Mm-hmm.
guess this was before or when she claimed that she scrubbed the internet. She didn't because there are
Right.
pictures out there. It's something about a man that I don't care how beautiful your wife is, but once you take on this woman as your wife, it's not your girlfriend. This ain't no piece that you just got on your shoulders. Once you decide to marry this person, it is something about a man that puts out overly sexual pictures or videos of his wife. It's weird to me. It's
Does he do
really,
that?
really. Mhm. There are pictures that he
Oh,
posted online of her legs gapped open, and these
because you
are
saw when she brought her
Where can I,
leg.
where can I find this?
Find
what
what?
those pictures.
Yeah,
I posted it in our group. I just don't put it in. I don't put that kind of stuff online.
I don't. I'm not in the group chat thing, so
Oh, yeah, she's overly sexy, and it was his post. It wasn't her post. It was his post.
Well,
And now
that's
I remember.
interesting considering he told her she was doing too much when she put her leg up at the car dealership.
Yeah, no, he.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised by that too. And there's like videos of her in the kitchen and with lingerie on. It just
Really?
seems like intimate situations that a husband and wife would. I'm not saying it don't happen. We know it happens, but that's something you keep in your phone.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
ain't something you post.
Yeah.
It's,
And it is true, though. I mean, anytime, I'm just thinking, even years back, anytime we would even talk about going to Atlanta visiting or anything, it's always said, just be careful of the men because they ain't going to look gay, but more than likely they are. I've always heard that about Atlanta. And I mean, for years. And it's just like, when will this stop? I mean, I don't think it ever will, but it would be nice for it not to be
I
such
mean,
a.
there's plenty of gays in Atlanta. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it has that reputation, but I think, and it's really interesting because, you have a lot of men. Well, let me just say it like this. This is my opinion. It may not be worth the hill of beans, but it's just my opinion, not the opinion of Chatter Up. Just my opinion. The lines of masculinity is so blurred today. What was clearly feminine energy, feminine behavior is so blurred.
Yeah.
And it's really blurred when we have an unfortunate large percentage of men being raised by women. It's no slight on any single mother. They're like rock stars. They're doing what they have to do. But unfortunately, if you don't have a balance of male energy around men, it's very natural for them to take on some traits that their mother has. That's why you see an influx of men arguing with women. Like men, that is such a turnoff to me. Like,
Arguing with women.
yeah, just bickering like girls. It's like two girls. Like a guy say something, a girl say something, and the guy got to come back harder. She say something else, he coming back, on equal footing or just as harder. Men that I notice, they like, ain't nobody finna sit up here and argue with you. You need to calm down. You need to pipe down. When I meet men that want to go toe to toe, I could, and it's an unfortunate that I've said this. Is I pray that I'm trying not to be judgmental, but I can pick out a dude that's been raised by a woman because you don't have a lot of masculine energy. It's what you know. It's what you've been raised with, and it's not his fault. His mama is a fusser, especially if your mama was a fusser. Your mama fuss, you ain't have a balance at home. You see it. You see it. And it's irritating to me. And it's really prevalent within like millennials. Because, it was kind of a thing. Of course, it was plenty of single mothers within Generation X. But, there was kind of a big push for the uncles and cousins and male friends to come around. But it's so visible. Like,
Kevin, do you live in Atlanta?
No, I'm from Savannah, Georgia.
You're from Georgia, okay.
Yeah. But my daughter say it's rough there. She was like, as soon as when she meets somebody, you want to go toe to her, that's it. That is the end.
Wait, say that again. What's the end?
If a guy wants to like go toe to toe.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't. She really don't like feminine energy in dudes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who's gonna be the steady mind? If you see I'm irate and you want to get irate with me, we're gonna be fighting soon. That's it. Like I don't understand that kind of mindset. It's just men just act differently when they were raised around their fathers or they had uncles that were highly influenced, their grandpa, whoever.
Yeah.
But you can tell. You unfortunately can tell. But anyway, let's get into this episode. The episode begins with Cynthia and Shamia and Portia and Kelly telling Portia what happened at the brunch, and they were telling Cynthia as well because she wasn't there, and because Portia wasn't there, and they basically are now deciding to let's go. Portia's telling everybody that she wants everybody to go to Nashville, but she purposely did not send an invitation to Drew. What y'all think?
I think that Portia needs to get over it.
Right.
She's just taking it's a rough season for me to see Portia because nothing's going her way, and her only storyline is Drew. I mean, we don't talk about Simon that much. It's probably not much she can say. She definitely can't be in the house. I'm so over her and Drew. Drew is the one thriving in this situation, not Portia. She's just mad all the time. I don't like it.
What you think, Kevin?
I think it's just a storyline that they can just create, in my opinion.
I don't think you have to have a storyline, to be honest.
If
you're a leader. Portia. If you're leading the show, which proves that she's not leading the show. I don't think you have. There are some people who don't necessarily. If you're what they really posed her for, she didn't need to have a storyline. But I think what's jacked up is anybody that's truly leading a franchise would never leave out anybody. This kind of solidified that she can't be the anchor.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that.
Because the anchor would have sat down with Drew. She's not even willing to do that. To sit down with Drew and just have a one-on-one. She, in my opinion, she has some legitimate conversations to have with Drew. Because I don't think Drew handled the situation with Dennis well. Like, period. I just don't. And the fact that she tried to go behind her back to make deals that she has no authority over is jacked up as well.
I wish I could get the behind the scene thoughts on that one. I wonder what made her even want to do that. And what made her think she could go to Portia's team to talk about things like that and that they wouldn't tell Portia. I would love to know her thoughts on that. But as far as her and Dennis, I just think Portia should, at this point.
I think Portia should get over it. I agree
exactly.
with that part. I think she should get over it because it is what it is. He worked with her and there's money involved. And essentially it could be, a benefit to you. So I get that part, but I do wish that she had handled the situation well. But I understand why Portia is very protective because I don't know if you all saw that post that Drew did, this subliminal post. And this is why Portia didn't want her to film with her. She wrote something like, "Bro, don't let me expose you or let you tell what really happened." It was some subliminal post before Sunday's episode. And everybody was saying she talking about Dennis. And
I saw when you posted.
Even if she wasn't, that's the stuff that Portia was really afraid of. She did not want to have to explain another situation that didn't really have anything to do with her.
Okay, but she didn't have to explain it. Who brought it up? Her.
You're saying that, but you know that if she's interviewed, her next interview, somebody's going to ask her about it. Yeah, let's be honest.
I think we're putting too much on Portia.
But how many times we that the producer going to say about the whole Drew thing?
Yeah, because the problem is other people bringing it up. She don't care so much about if it's nothing comes to her door, nothing comes to her door. She was afraid of the possibility of something coming to her door because the reality is that's who they're interviewing. People have been interviewed. They wanted to hear from Portia. When Portia does press, and she hasn't in the last week that I know of, that's what they're going to ask her about. If she does, that would be the first question I would ask if I had the opportunity to interview her. Like, do you know what she was talking about? She don't want to have to. Her point is she already got enough on her plate dealing with this crazy ex-husband.
Yeah,
she don't have to deal with Dennis too.
Well, and she doesn't have to. I think she's really being immature about this. I really do. It's just ridiculous.
Exactly.
It really is. Just get over it. She didn't want to marry Dennis. She didn't want to be with Dennis. For whatever, Dennis was cheating or whatever, this girl forced Dennis to take a picture with her and Fallon's husband. At the same time, Fallon's husband announced to the world, that he was going to marry Portia. She didn't care about Dennis. So why is she making it a big deal now? I don't think that. I don't get it. None of it matters. She shouldn't, to me, be in any way tripping off with Drew and Dennis. She don't want Dennis. So what if he's his dad and he's a good dad from what we can see? But come on, don't nobody.
If Drew, I don't think she's tripping off with Drew and Dennis. If Drew was just working with Dennis and Dennis wasn't on the show, this wouldn't have been the issue. It's about Dennis being on the show and causing issues for her in the press. If she was just working with a producer, you can't believe that this would have been a problem. I don't think she cared about him working on the music. I don't think that was an issue. I really don't. Let me ask y'all this though. What y'all think about Drew asking Brittany, did she sell the cat?
I thought that was a little bit kind of pettyish.
It was the best part of the show too, though. It was the best part of the episode. I didn't like the episode really. I mean, but that was the best part to me.
I think that Britt is lying when Drew said that about the whole thing. Because Britt was kind of like.
Do you believe that she just did webcam for?
It's more than that. It's more than that.
more than a week. That I'm like, why you lie like that? Like, why won't
Exactly.
she own it? Right? I would be like, at the time I wasn't like, I would make this a cautionary tale that people could relate to. Like, I did it. You're young. You're not thinking about your future. You're not thinking about what you would become or what circles you're gonna move in when you're 35 and 40 years old. You're just trying to, maintain and make money. And I saw an opportunity. I did it for a while. When other opportunities came, I stopped. Like most people can relate to that. We may not agree with the way in which you made your money, but at that point, own it. The fact that she's lying about it,
Everybody got a pass.
everybody has a pass. Like, own it. Like, make it a cautionary tale. We can relate to that. What we not gonna do is sit up here and relate to you lying.
Because what made the lie sound like a lie is when she said, "Oh, I did pretty good. I was only doing it a week, though." I mean, what is there to measure?
And
he was only doing it for a week.
It didn't make any sense when it's like what you said about that her and her friends were naked and then they just did it. I never had friends that never been naked.
Yeah. So she said it's never been sexual, just her and a friend. Oh, let's do it. We had some fun, and
it was nothing explicit. I was like, if you're sitting up there naked, that's explicit.
Exactly.
Girl, shut up.
Did she say maybe she wasn't 100% naked? Maybe she just, I don't know. Maybe she had on nipple covers or something crazy. I don't know.
She didn't say that. She's lying. The point is she's lying. She's obviously lying. Oh, that's what I also wanted to say. I forgot for the chat stick. They do have a after show coming.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I went so much.
Yeah, I was glad to see that because I was disappointed that they didn't. But it should have been out a little bit longer. I don't know. They probably
because Salt Lake did it, and then Beverly Hills did it earlier, the first day.
Right. They probably come out like the second or third episode, but it's possible that they filmed it after the first episode because within the 7 days they got 2.5 million streams just the first week. So it's possible that they filmed this afterward and they're just editing it now because usually they come out a little bit earlier and they definitely would have come out by the time the whole Kenya debacle went on.
All right. And Joe, I have a question. How many episodes in this year's Atlanta?
We don't know, but we can judge it by when Phaedra shows up. Because Phaedra is in 6 episodes.
Okay.
So I thought they kind of, all of the promos they just have for Portia. And Portia's in the after show. So I'm assuming she's coming up. But they've only been getting like 15 episodes.
Really? 15?
Yeah, like 12 to 15 episodes. They might get a couple more. But
yeah, and we're in episode 7. I mean, it's gone pretty quick.
Yeah,
the season's pretty quick. I'm halfway over.
Yeah, this is 7. They might have a little bit more, but the days of like 22 and 25 are like done.
Yeah,
I don't think that. Let me see how many they had last year.
That's a good question.
Here,
but the last year before that,
they had last season 15. They had 18 episodes. Okay. With how many were the reunion? Oh, just 2. The reunion was just 2. Mm-hmm. So they had 16 regular episodes and then 2 for the reunion. Yeah. And their reunions were uncensored. I wish they would uncensor the episodes and extend them.
Okay, look, I just popped that picture up there. I didn't know really how to do it. But anyway, what do y'all think about that?
Is that Kenya?
That's Britt Edie. That's the webcam doll set.
It's giving Kenya.
Girl, she want to be Kenya so bad. She on my
Yeah.
nerve.
For Kenya?
Oh yeah. She wanted to be the villain. I'm totally convinced of that.
That's funny.
I'm totally convinced of that. I think she wanted to be the villain. She overpromised the producers, and it's just like
She was just looking for her trouble, basically.
mm-hmm. One
She
of the
was.
things, one of the things that one of the girls said, if that tea sipping or that whatever that tea was Kelly had,
Mm-hmm.
she said, let me see how she worded it. She all but said, "Oh, this is how I interpret it. You're acting all giddy like the witch is gone. Like she was giddy, like yeah, I got rid of Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was acting giddy, and I can't remember how they said it, but they used the word giddy. I think you're
Drew
really
said she
giddy
was
about
acting. She was celebrating. She had a
something
celebratory
like
type of.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
and
like
and she did. She seemed very happy to be able to say, "I'm here." She's not.
yes,
So
yeah.
somebody needed to pop her and just bring her back down to her low level. I mean, she's just doing. I think everything she's doing is just wrong.
Yeah.
Even Kenya, not supporters of normal Kenya, think she's wrong. She's tripping.
You think Portia's on her side
I
because
do.
okay,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I can see it right through the reunion. It's gonna be Portia, Britt, and
Phaedra.
Phaedra.
Yeah, because
And
And
that
the
would
was
you
other,
show up if you were invited? If you were Kenya?
I would because in my opinion, yeah, I think
Nope.
they should. I don't know. She might be done with the show. Oh, that's
Would
so
you show up, Kevin?
um to like maybe to like have a 1-on-1 with Britt, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't show up. Y'all did the whole season without me after 4 episodes or 3 episodes or whatever. Just go ahead and finish it off without me. That's what I would say.
I do think that if this was going to be her end, Kenya should have been allowed to end it at the reunion.
Yeah, I can see that. I just wouldn't take it. I mean, they should have even if it's just to speak your point to them. You should have never let me go in the first place. You just really believe this girl didn't have a gun when you didn't ask her that question possibly until a week later. I mean, I just think going might set the wrong tone. You
Yeah,
know they treated you like crap. You okay with it? You're going to go right back and speak for what, 5 minutes?
yeah.
Yeah, no, but
I think it would be more than 5 minutes.
not much. Everybody got to have a little time on there. It can't be all for Kenya if everybody else is still on the stage.
Right.
You wouldn't think anyway.
Well,
Mm.
I think that's sad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Drew.
Oh
Drew
God.
going to court and her desperation for closing them court documents. Do you think she's protecting Ralph or do you think she's protecting herself?
Well, I would. It's easy for me to say Ralph. I can't think of what Drew would have done to need protecting. I can't see her like cheating on her husband or anything. I really can't. But so I don't. I would think she's only protecting him. He doesn't seem concerned though.
All right.
I mean,
So that's suspect.
he's straight skipping out of.
I just felt like he needs to like move out, in my opinion, because
Yeah, I mean, why you want to be there? And why can't I think of him
Well, I
and
think
not think of Martell? They just remind me of the same person. It's weird.
they're petty.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're petty.
Mm-hmm.
That's
he
what
know
really
he
weird.
know he know to provoke Drew.
Yeah, he gives me I was raised by a mom and I was the only child.
Mm-hmm.
He gives me that kind of energy. Like he's really petty, like a man. But I also think one of the things that Drew wants may not be realistic. And that is Ralph wants her out of that house.
So wait a minute, who paid the house when they
He
was?
bought it. He bought it
Okay.
without her because he did something that I didn't even know that you could do. In the state of Missouri, a man who is legally married cannot buy a house without his wife. Now, she doesn't have to be on the deed or the loan, but she has to be there at closing to turn over her rights.
Mm.
So I didn't even know that you could do that. Georgia law may be totally different. And it's pretty, because a woman that doesn't sign those papers has every right to their house. So if a man was married and went out in Missouri and went out and bought a house, and let's say they've been separated for 6 months, that's marital property now. But a woman that's at the closing, I had to sign over my rights. Now, right after closing, you can go down to whatever the city is and fill out a deed paper. You can so you can put your name on the deed, not the loan, but the deed. And his house could go into probate. He could literally
Misbehave.
get with another woman and something happens to him and that woman can have a right to the house.
These
That's
men
why,
are embracing.
so I don't know how Georgia law is, but when I don't know if y'all remember when the first season they went out of there, she was trying to get in the house and she went out of town and she came back. He done bought this house.
Oh, okay. I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So did they show the first house like at the first episode or something? And then we saw
they were in a different place when they first when they first came on the show, and they went on a trip. The ladies went on a trip. I can't remember what trip. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, I bought a house. She was kind of mad, but at the same time, I want to say it was King. It was like, girl, your husband went out and bought you a house.
Mm-mm. Well, I wonder why she wants to. I mean, I get it. Of course, it's a house. You want to stay in the house. But I wonder why she wants to stay, if she really needs to stay there or if she wants to stay just so she's not giving the house up to Ralph. I wonder what her story is. Does she feel like she wants to stay with Ralph, not as a couple, but under the same roof, sort of make
No, she wants him out.
Children?
She wants that house and she wants him out.
Mm.
That's what she wants. That was what she was asking for. She wanted him out. And that's why you heard him say about being in the basement. She wants him out of the basement. He's still in the basement with her when she was frustrated. She wanted him out of the house. And his thing, and his lawyer even said for a house that she's not even paying for. You ain't heard him say that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. He's 100% paying for that house. He bought that house.
Okay. Well, he wouldn't be the first husband to buy a house, so, But I wonder if is that why the attorney said this is just a money grab? What money?
Yeah, he is. I don't know what Ralph does. My daughter said she heard he was in tech.
Yeah, I heard that too, but I don't know what he does.
Yeah, I don't know
as we say that, but. Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is, he has been financially taking care of her or taking care of them because, again, he bought the house alone.
Mm.
And so I don't know if that included both of their monies. I'm assuming that it didn't because Drew wanted the house. It wasn't that she didn't want the house or didn't know anything about it. She wanted the house, but she was waiting. And then he was like, I bought the house. So I'm like, how did he buy the house? Are they renting it? Are they leasing it? What's the situation? Because it was like over a weekend.
Joe, I have a question. Can she just move out and then he can just live there? All right.
If he moves out, she's moved out of marriage. She has no rights to the house. Once she moves out, she would have no right. That's the reason why she didn't leave.
Has Ralph said he didn't want to give up the house?
He likes being in the basement. I think he likes the situation that they're in. That's really the reason why he's not moving things quickly.
Well, I thought the reason that
a man that wants to be done with a woman would have turned over his financial information. A man that was done with because he would want to be free. Ralph doesn't care because he's so petty. He likes controlling a little bit about her. He likes it. He's real petty. He's like petty. And Martell was fair, I thought. When they divorced, they were very fair. They split everything. They dissolved everything that they had. And initially they did, I don't know if they still, 1 week on, 1 week off. Or at first it was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And whatever holiday fell with wherever they had to live with. So in other words, if your 2 weeks fell between so-and-so's birthday, that was one of the arguments. We should be able to, like, if a birthday, that was one of the arguments, the reason why they had that big fight at the rolling rink, at the skating rink. They figured it out. They initially had something that they could live with, and then it started getting tricky.
Because he started wanting money from different things.
Okay.
It's weird. All right, where we at? What happened? What's next?
So they get to Tennessee. They fly. Angela has missed her flight. Oh, before they missed their flight, and they're sitting around. They get there and they're eating. And Angela, they talking about Angela. Do y'all think Angela was wrong for inviting Drew?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You don't?
Yeah, she's wrong, but I thought Portia was wrong for not inviting her too.
I bet you it was the producer who told her to do that.
You can invite whoever you want to invite. I don't even think that's producers. I think that was just her being petty. Like, you should invite. You talk about Angela?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I could see that. Yeah. But I don't know how Angela thought she was going to be well received after doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's absurd to me. Like, and I'm like, nobody said that to her. Like, girl, why would you invite somebody you know wasn't invited? You know the birth. It's not even like a trip for just a general person. It's actually her birthday.
Right.
It was shady.
Right.
But I mean, Angela, how old is she, by the way?
37.
Okay, how old?
37.
No, they said she the same age as Portia, because people been talking about that.
Angela Oakley is Portia's age?
Yeah, they're saying that no, they're claiming she way older, but she's claiming to be 43, which is Portia's age.
All right.
Okay.
Right. I don't know how old she is. She got a 20-something-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
How old is her daughter? Wasn't she
27?
She wasn't that old. She was
she
like 24 though.
What's her last name? Angela who? Oakley.
Oakley. They said she scrubbed the internet of that baby. They said it ain't one mention of her age on the entire internet. Other than that 43 she claimed.
So Drew, Joy, you think Britt was spilling false allegations about that Charles has a baby on somebody?
I've heard that. There's a Wendy Williams video that's going around, and Wendy she was doing like Hot Topics, and this was shortly after her husband was caught with that baby with the other woman that was having a baby. And according to Wendy Williams, Angela walked up to her, and she said Charles Oakley's wife, Angela, walked up to her and said, "Girl, it's just a baby. You can get past it."
Wow.
And that was on Wendy Williams. Like I said, that was during the time with the situation that first happened with her husband. She found out her husband was having a baby by another woman.
His name was Kevin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kevin was having a baby. So, and I also want to mention for those that may or may not have heard it months ago, when Angela introduced her family in the second episode, I want to say she was the first or second segment. of the second episode, and she introduced her family. She was very particular about what she said. She said, I have a daughter named so and so who is 20 so and so. I have a son that is 12. She gave his name. And Charles has a son named Little Charlie, never gave his age. And we share a daughter named such and such and such that's 7. She was very particular about what she said. And all I kept thinking is, that's bold. Okay. And she goes on to talk about in the same thing. She talks about her and Charles. She talks about it twice. Being married and having some problems, about him getting kicked out of some amphitheater or something. He was kicked out of something, and then they got a divorce. They separated for a while. And people are saying that no, they separated for a while because of little Charlie.
Mm.
That baby was born right around their wedding or something like that. But I said, boy, that's bold when the side chick named the baby after the daddy.
When the
So
side
he could.
chick
Oh, sorry.
names the baby after the daddy. Okay.
What you say, Kevin?
I think ain't he got kicked out on a basketball tournament or something like that, and
Yeah,
then
it was
Yeah.
something like that. I can't remember what it was.
He had an
behavior or something.
accident.
Behavior.
Yeah, he got kicked out because she was clowning. She was like, we went through a tough time and we separated. Girl, people, no, that ain't why y'all separated. It didn't even make sense. So when she mentioned it again later in the next episode, when they were in that house, one of the houses that she was rehabbing, she talked about it again. And I'm like, that it doesn't even make any sense. Why would you leave your husband? But it didn't make any sense, but it wasn't my situation to sit up here and dissect. But it was weird. It was really weird. But anyway, we gonna find out now. I will say this. Angela did say, oh, that girl behind looks so weird in them cream pants.
Who?
What's her name? Britt. Her behind looked weird.
Oh,
I'm just sitting up here watching now because this episode was kind of boring to me.
it
They
really was.
It
they were
was.
looking when they went up to the stairs and they were looking at the rooms and they showed the back of her. I'm totally convinced that the producers be so shady. It looked weird.
Yeah, they are shady.
Yeah, they be pointing out their little issues, but it looks really weird. But anyway, they pick out their rooms. It is what it is. Shamia got the second best room. The new girls are all upstairs, and the one room that nobody picked is the bunk bed, which she saves for Drew.
So mean.
So
Well, what do you think about Drew going, knowing she wasn't invited?
I wouldn't have went.
Yeah, thank you.
Ain't no way if somebody didn't invite me on a trip, on a cash trip, that I would have went. Now it's possible that they told her to. Producers told her to. I get that as well, because you're not, if you're not there and they're there for 3 days, if you're not in the episode, you don't have anything worthy to film, you're not gonna get paid for the episode.
Yeah.
So yes. I kind of understand why she would, but generally speaking, I wouldn't show up to be embarrassed. And then when she asked her about her staying, I don't know why Drew responded the way she did. She was like, you cool. Like, I would have shut up, handed her birthday gift, and then tried my best to enjoy myself and hope for the best. I don't know why she was expecting somebody who did not invite you to her party to then be nice to you, be sweet to you. It doesn't even make any sense. Drew's expectations are just ridiculous.
I think Drew and Angela should have both got up and went outside, got on her cousin Michael Jordan's $70 million jet and went back home. That's what I think. Angela should have left too.
Well, if she wanted to, she could have. She shouldn't have invited her. But even if you're gonna decide to do something like that, I don't know why. Portia said you cool. Like,
Did she? I didn't hear that.
yeah, she said,
Yeah, she did.
"Do you mind me being here?" Portia's response was, "You cool." That was all she said. And now she's like, "Well, you said it nice, nasty." Like, what did you expect her to do? She didn't invite you. You hijacking this girl's thing.
I don't know why Angela is getting an attitude because
Even Cynthia said she okay.
Well,
And now that really ticked Portia off because now you hijacking this situation that she wants all about her.
yeah.
Like, you lay low. If you gonna decide to go, even if it's for the reasons of getting paid, I would have laid low. I would have gave her that, and maybe in the light of having fun, because this is a fun situation and you hope it is not stressful, maybe you could have a time to talk. You know what I mean? Maybe. But she's forcing herself in a situation and then wants Portia to respond a certain kind of way. To me, it's stupid. You want Portia to be happy about it. Girl, shut up.
Right.
And I keep asking, and she's not fitting in. Drew's not fitting in this season at all.
she's not.
I mean, you talking about somebody on the chopping block.
Yeah,
She's not fitting in at all. Like Cynthia doing better than her.
It just seems like the wrong time for Drew, and I didn't expect that. I mean, I think that she definitely has more going on to talk about at the show than Portia does, but Portia has everybody still kind of wanting to be around her. Drew, not so much. Yeah, Drew, not so much. So I don't like that because I thought Drew would have a better season. It just hasn't. She's alone. I don't just want to hear about her and the husband, but other than that, she's alone.
Right.
Somewhere telling a lie or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, she's on the chopping block, right? She's useless almost. You're not. I don't know why, but I said that last week. Like, why is she there? So anyway, they go out. They go to a bull ride. They want to go bull ride, so they go. And I see Manetta in here. Everybody ride the bull. They on for seconds, but Shamia, strength in her thighs, was on for a minute, almost a minute. And the girls, you know, they do seem like they having a little fun, and they need some fun because these girls are not giving, which is why I know that's why they called our girl Phaedra, because they needed some footing, and they didn't. I heard that. I had actually heard that they stopped filming for a little bit, and they was trying to get their footing. They were trying to hit their footing. And when is Portia's actual birthday? Is it in June or July?
No, I would have no idea.
I can Google it.
Yeah, see when her birthday is. Because I was trying to see where they filming when her cousin died. Okay, so she's June 22nd. So they're just at the end of June.
But her cousin was on the show.
I know she passes in early August. So I know it's just a lot going on. Like,
I'm surprised that Portia didn't know Manetta.
That she's still friends with Manetta?
I didn't know that Portia didn't know Manetta.
Yeah. Manetta was on the show the last couple of years.
No. But Portia wasn't. She wasn't. They weren't on at the same time.
Right. No. She wasn't on there when she was.
But it is Atlanta. A lot of them know each other.
That. You're right about that.
Yeah. Yep.
You're right. I forgot she wasn't on with Manetta. But you know, all of them run in the same. I wouldn't be surprised. Manetta was, because she had a little reality show for a little bit.
On VH1.
So I wouldn't be surprised. She was on 2 reality shows, wasn't she?
It was one of not basketball wise. Clearly not.
No, she was on one that focused a little bit, unless I'm tripping, on her and Neo, because I knew Neo wanted her to get her tubes tied. Am I talking about the same one? I thought she was on the one where the girl who used to go with or was married to Swiss Beats.
Alicia Keys. Yeah,
No,
no.
no, the
No.
girl who he stole.
Okay.
Alicia Keys stole. Now you talk about somebody stole somebody's husband. She
Yeah,
stole
yeah, yeah.
somebody's husband.
Also, his that was Neil's other wife. There was a different show that his wife was on, his second wife, but I don't remember anything else for the first wife.
Yeah, his that I don't know about I don't know what number she was, but he left this girl for Alicia because she was still staying in the physical house that
Mm-hmm.
she lived in with Swiss Beats, and the grass had overgrown.
Hold up, Joyce. Ain't Tamika, Usher ex-wife was on the show?
Best ex wives club or something like that
That's
with
what it was. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's ex and Prince's ex.
Wait a minute, was she on that show?
I know it was, and one of the Love Hip Hop. I forgot. It's one of the Love Hip Hop New York cats also was in that show too.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, but I know that I thought she was on that show. That it was a show. It was only on for a season or two. That Alicia is the big rook. She was the main person because everybody was talking about Swiss Beats leaving this particular girl um
Alicia
for
Keys.
Alicia Keys, and Manetta was also on this show because Neo was on this show, and it was kind of sad. They were together then, and she would tell a little bit more of the story while she was on Atlanta. But when her and Neo were together, we know now he was obsessed with threesomes and just other women in general. And he wanted her. I felt so bad for her because Manetta wasn't sure if she wanted to have another baby. Neo wanted her to get her tubes tied. He didn't want any more kids with her. But when Manetta and him broke up, I don't know how closely it was related. But y'all remember about a year ago, maybe a little bit more, it was a girl who had wrote this long thing to Neo online, and I think they were married. He was cheating on her, but they had
Yeah.
had two more children together. That's who he was cheating on with Manetta. He just goes through woman after woman after woman after one. He gets tired, but it was kind of jacked up because he all but forced, like they were having these conversations on this show. He wanted her to get her tubes tied, and she does. And I wondered about that when she had married this one white guy she married. Did maybe she didn't want to have any more kids? Maybe it wasn't a problem for her either way, but it was just kind of sad. It just
His Swiss Beats ex-wife was Mashonda.
Yep, that was her name, Mashonda. Yep, that was
I
her
don't.
name.
Yeah, I don't remember her in a show, but I know that they ended up writing a book together, Alicia and Mashonda.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they have a pretty blended, a nice relationship because quite a few years ago, I saw them on a boat ride somewhere together, and people start interviewing her and talking about it, and she mentioned it. She realized that her marriage was over when I can't remember what the word was. I want to say it was the Arabic name for mom. Her children were calling her that.
her children were
Calling Alicia Keys the Arabic word for
for
mom.
mom. Oh.
And it's like something like that. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Let me see.
So the word for mom or mother in Arabic is
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she had they were calling her that, and she took offense to that. She was like, I don't, it was sad just kind of watching like these R&B rap guys like play with in the face of these ladies. And that's what it felt like. It was just like one bad relationship after another.
And now, Neo's like, I have multiple, and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
He trying to be a Nick Cannon so bad.
I mean, if you at least you giving them a choice.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it ain't my cup of tea, but at least you're giving these women choices. I think men would be surprised. There are a lot of women that would be okay with that if they knew. I ain't gonna say okay, but they can deal with it a little bit. Yeah, a little bit better if you know up front.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go into something like I don't know
you
if
breaking out there.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, a little bit. You're okay now.
And wait a minute, and it's a show. I forgot what channel is it, but it's called like Sister Wives and all that.
Sister Wives, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of these people on there.
Yeah.
Sister Wives, one husband, and then he got all the wives.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. So I mean, there are women out there that can stomach that kind of life. If men were honest, there obviously there are women out there. Look at Nick Cannon. He got a whole bunch of different women, and he just impregnating them. As long as they get their checks coming in, they fine. I guarantee you, if he missed a couple of payments, they gonna be on the internet talking about they was in a cult and how they was done. Like they're only good for that, when money is involved.
You know who else got all these kids out here running around?
Who?
He's trying not to pay them their monthly child support and stuff.
Who?
The president, Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, but his situation is even more sick, and those women.
It really is.
It's not even like he's having sexual relations with these women. He actually does in vitro, and he does gender assignments. Like he's obsessed with making boys.
Wait a minute. So this one, I was under the impression the one I'm talking about, the little 21-year-old girl, hers was sexual. You're saying no?
I don't know. First of all, that man can't put two sentences together. I can't see who could lay down with him. But
he offered her $15 million to just go away, and she said that no, that's not enough. Go ahead and come to court. Let's get this together.
I don't know. I can't imagine a woman would lay down with him, but got money.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just seemed like you would be taking care of. You would be taking advantage of somebody that's mentally unstable. He literally cannot put two sentences together. Have y'all ever watched him?
Yeah, I have, but just think about that. I agree. He literally can barely put two sentences together, but he's running this country.
That's absurd.
It really is.
And like he does gender assignments. Like most of his kids were not sexual children. He wants to impregnate them with boys. So I think he has 13. And I think 10 of them,
God.
yeah, 10 or 11 are boys. One of them is a transgender boy, a boy transgender to a girl.
And the last one that gave birth to his child, she was initially the little online model or whatever, and she was always with the black young rappers. And so I don't know if he was friends with one of them or what, but he says, I want to hit that right there. So she stopped messing with him and went to him and got the bigger paycheck.
Are you friends?
I mean, he just sounds so unstable. I mean, like crazy.
Yeah, like
unstable.
I can't imagine. Like and I hate to even say this word out loud, but as a special ed teacher who used to write this on IEPs before it was considered bad. Now they're called back in the day, if your IQ was under 69, you were considered mentally retarded.
I'm autistic, so that's gonna happen.
I'm just telling you, under 69. So that I wrote that many times on IEPs.
Oh my goodness.
They just stopped in the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years.
And the conversations that have been out here about him and all his custody cases going on, it's really ghetto. Can you imagine if that was a black person that was running the world like that had all these babies out here? Some of them he ain't even trying to claim.
Well, he's not
paying. It would have been a different world.
They're obsessed with populating the earth. one of the things that I just read the other day is that Trump is trying to figure out whether or not they're going to give people who have babies a $5,000 tax credit, because and they really want to do this to white people. It's really for white people. They don't care nothing about black life. They know that it's fact that white people are only about 10% of the population in the world. That's fact. That's not fiction. That's fact. Google it. Some number is as low as 7, and the maximum number you're going to hear is 12 or 13%. And they are obsessed with that. If you read parts of Project 2025, they were, I don't know if y'all know this, right now in Congress, they are trying, the budget that they were putting together, some of this extra money that they're trying to move from places are going to be incentivized by populations with high birth rate. So like Utah and like very small places, particularly for transportation. So in other words, the state of Missouri could have gotten, all the states have some kind of public transportation, and so much is given to each state. They're trying to appropriate it in places that has a high number of the birth rate. So there are these small states that have high birth weight. Utah was one. I can't remember what the other one was. That's what it's based off of. That's what they're trying to base their money off of, which is crazy to me. Not population of people, birth rate. So the average person is having more babies in Utah than any other state in this country. But ain't nothing but a handful of people in Utah.
Yeah. All right, let's get off of this baby maker.
Yeah. But what did y'all think of? That's pretty much it. They went, they're in Tennessee, and Drew stayed back for a day. She went out and Dennis sent her a bottle. Her and her sister went to some club, and she shows up. And when she shows up, she offers Portia a bottle of whiskey. And when she takes this bottle, she didn't even give it to her. She asked Drew, she asked Portia, "You okay with me staying here?" And Portia's response was, "You cool." And she made the situation about her because she wasn't nice enough, I guess. I don't know. It was weird to me.
Yeah, she said you're cool, but she clearly didn't want her there. I'm sure.
She would have invited her if she wanted her there.
I know. Yeah.
And the theme was they was wearing it was Cowboy Carter.
What you say?
And the theme what they was wearing the cowboy was Cowboy Carter.
Cowboy Carter and them little costumes. I really only remember Portia's costume. I don't even remember what anybody else had on. Do you?
They all had on variations of shorts and cowboy boots and tight shirts. And
Shamia, when she was on the plane, she was dressed in her usher costume from church. I didn't know what that was, but I don't remember what she put on when she got there. But yeah, that travel outfit was not it.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, it's a cute trip. Nashville isn't the kind of place I would want to go to party, but it seems to be pretty popular now because 2 seasons ago, Ashley, Potomac went, Jersey went last season. Their last season, they went to Tennessee. So Nashville,
Ain't they went to Tennessee or Nashville 2 years before that?
What?
2 years ago they went to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Or was it Atlanta or was that
Jersey? I'm talking about Jersey.
Yeah, they went to Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah.
They remember that was where Teresa clowned at the table.
No, she throws something at Margaret.
Yeah, at the table. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a big thing about that. They claim because the producers took her side, they asked her to leave the house, and they asked Teresa to leave the house. that Margaret took that as producers was on her side, and they were trying to ice out Teresa. They just did a terrible job because they actually could have done it
Yeah,
last
they could have.
season.
Well, I mean, they could have tried. I don't really think they could
No,
have.
they could have very easily because she wasn't talking to half the cast.
So why
It
didn't
would have
they?
been very easy, but Margaret and them don't have sense. God gave a hairless chicken. They spent every episode talking about Teresa. When you're trying to exit, if you're trying to ice somebody out, you don't talk about them. That made and that's all the footage they showed. Now they could have talked about a million other things, but they only showed that. And because of that, y'all just showed the importance of her, of Teresa. Like what they did didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. And now the producer are trying to get some new people at New Jersey.
Yeah, I've heard that they're trying to give possible Teresa and them a spinoff. And I don't think that's going to work. I don't know why they won't make a decision because to me, give a spinoff, you're going to give a spinoff, give it to Melissa and them. That's who should have got a spinoff. I don't know who would want it, but a spinoff is so tricky.
I wouldn't want to watch Melissa and them. Maybe a lot of people would, but I wouldn't.
But wait a minute,
and they watch them.
And they had that little.
I also don't think. Go ahead.
I was trying to say, and they had that little show, the home network thing.
Who?
Joe and Melissa.
I don't know, but it just seems like they would have been a better fit for a spinoff than Teresa. To give Teresa one is just a way to get her off the show. But I think like Melissa and Joe would seem like, because they do rehab, maybe show that kind of work, and that may work for them. You know, but they don't like their kids on the show. You know, they don't really show their family in their way. And they also dealing with mostly boys.
Did you see, I don't want to talk about New Jersey too much, but did you see Bethany Frankel going at it with Teresa's daughter, Gia?
Yeah, I don't know why either. I don't know why Bethany still talks about the franchises either.
Yeah.
What happened? I'm so confused.
Bethany has said something about Teresa, her husband. I can't remember what's going on with them, but something is going on. I don't know if it's a lawsuit or taxes. I think it was taxes. Allegedly, there's a lien on some taxes. It's not much. It's not millions upon millions of dollars, but it was like $75,000 or something. Like it was, it's a large amount for us, but it wasn't. It would seem like it wouldn't be for them. And Bethany was talking about it. And one of her daughters had commented on it. And now she really feels like she can, because they're on this show. Why Cynthia, she's on the show, Riley's on it. And I'm thinking maybe Todd's daughter is too, although they're not highlighting her. Mm-hmm. They seem like they live together in New York, because they do a lot of TikToks together.
Do they?
Yeah, Todd's daughter and Riley. Riley.
Well, Bethany made the comment, I don't remember verbatim, but she said something about Gia should not be the one trying to give financial advice to her based on what her mom, Teresa, and their stepdad is going through. And so Bethany kind of put her in her place. Now, I never heard that Gia tried to respond, but you got to be on point if you're going to try to respond to Bethany Frankel. And I don't think Gia can handle it. But who knows?
I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't get why Bethany is concerning herself with that. She was doing really well on TikTok. She was almost running this whole thing. When all those UFO, all those drones was in the air all over, Bethany was like very instrumental about that on TikTok calling them Dior bags
Mm-hmm.
because TikTok was censoring everything, so they turned them into Dior bags, and like Macy's did a whole tribute to those words.
Yeah.
It was something else. It was Dior bags and something else that those two words represented them drones. Hello Kitty.
Oh.
And Macy's did a whole window on Hello Kitty and Dior bags.
Well, Bethany stay busy. Whatever it is, Bethany's always going to throw her little 2 cents in. Some people like it, some people don't. Are we still in New Jersey or so? What do y'all think about Mia leaving?
Oh,
Or not New Jersey, but
Giselle told us this months ago, didn't she?
that she lived in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she been saying stuff like, Mia gonna be on Love and Hip Hop, right? Mia got, like, Giselle been putting it out there like, this girl she does not live here. And I believe that they let her go. I don't.
When she said that her and her family have moved to Atlanta, did she say, is it with Ink or with G?
Girl, she was probably with Ink.
Well, why would Mia lie about that they broke up?
Right. Because because it wasn't doing well in the media. Because the media turned against her. See, the media was okay with the foolishness and what they thought was transparency. But when the transparency looked like you are taking advantage of a much older man and taking advantage of his mental state, this isn't some, older gentleman. You're now saying he has a mental disorder, and it felt like you were taking advantage of it. And you're having this affair, and you're lying about certain details that are obvious lies. Mia she took it too far. She had the recipe, but in her mind, and the people felt icky about her bringing up the storyline about not knowing who the son of her father is when she had IVF. It's almost absurd. Like, people know, when you get pregnant, the doctor was there. You were there. Like, it was unnecessary lies. And it was those two felt icky. We were okay with you having an affair, but don't try to make your husband feel any more, mentally ill than what he is to fit a narrative you trying to come up with. And don't bring your baby in this.
Or if he is. I wonder. I mean, did a doctor tell him he is bipolar, or did Mia tell him? Because sometimes I kind of wonder.
I wondered to say it. I mean, it makes you wonder. Yeah, like, is all of this a game?
Right.
Because Gordon said, just because a person is bipolar, that means you have high highs and low lows. But that don't mean you don't have no common sense.
Right.
I know a lot of bipolar folks that got a lot of common sense. If they ain't in a manic or depressive state.
So no telling if she's really going to be on a show down there.
Girl, Atlanta will eat her up. You think we got a liar in Drew? Girl.
Exactly. They will eat Mia behind up.
They would eat her for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. Yeah, Mia needs to get her. She's not. I thought she had the I and the T. She doesn't, because she doesn't understand boundaries. Everything isn't to be said on television, like, and she didn't understand that boundary.
That's your fault, though.
And she walked out of the reunion. That's like a no. You better have a stroke or something like sudden.
Giselle walked off too, so I hope that ain't the reason that she got that.
Giselle ain't never left.
What do you mean?
She ain't never left the reunion.
Okay, correction, Garcelle.
Oh, Garcelle didn't leave the reunion. She actually stayed to the very end. They actually rapped
Okay,
They were
she still
taking the
got up and
cash.
left. She didn't take the final trip with him. So
But
whether it
that
was 5 minutes before
I
or
think
5
you're
minutes
missing the
after,
point.
she
None
did
of
go.
us ever see the picture. She actually toasted with them and everything. That's normally the end. They
She
only
got up and
show,
walked away and didn't come
it was
back. And Andy,
over. The
and
reunion was over. You can
but
say
Joy,
whatever you
Joy,
want. It
Joy,
was
you don't
over.
have to fill in that line there. The fact is, she walked away when no one was expecting her to. Right?
That's totally different. If Mia
Different
had
than what?
stayed and just didn't want to hug them or take a final photo, she stayed for
Did
the
her boss
entire
know she was leaving?
reunion. Look, I can tell you one thing:
Did her boss know she was leaving?
the cast photo ain't in her
Okay.
contract.
Did her boss know
Being
she
there
was
for the
leaving?
reunion is.
Well, hold up.
Did her boss know she was leaving? Jesus
He
Christ.
watched
No.
her.
So yeah, she
He
left.
watched her.
What? I know, and he was asking her, "Why are you leaving? Hey, what's up?" He was shocked. He didn't want her to leave.
That has nothing to do with what your legal obligations is.
Oh, Joy,
A
stop.
cast
Okay.
photo ain't a part of your contract. What's the
Okay,
part
and
of your
who
contract
you
is the
said the
reunion.
cast photo, not me. I mean, I just know she got up and left when they weren't done with whatever it was they were doing. But that's cool.
If they want that a part of the contract, they need to put that in the contract.
How do
Guarantee
you know it's not? Joy, stop.
it's
Joy,
not.
stop. Cut it out. You don't good
Obviously,
doggone
it's
well. She
not.
got up and left. But it don't matter to me, but you don't have to try and fill in why what she did wasn't wrong. It's still a fact. She got up and left
They're wrong.
before they were through with whatever it was they were doing.
If you go to
Oh,
reunion and you film the entire reunion and you lift your hand
so it's
and
okay
he
to leave
literally
early.
says that's a wrap.
Yeah,
You've
Joy.
done what you're supposed to do. That
Mhm.
picture is not an obligation.
Okay, Joy. Okay.
I never seen the picture of Gazelle, all the ladies having the group thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I never. Well, sometimes I don't see much. It seems like I remember more from Huntsville than I do the housewife show of that final picture. But the only fact is, she did get up and walk out before everything was done, and even Andy was shocked about it. But Joy wants to kind of make that okay, and maybe it is. It's just the fact that that's what happened. So what else have we missed? Did we cover everything?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Are you hearing on Huntsville that Marceau and Maurice got into a fight? Where is that coming from?
No.
I saw 2 TikToks today. And I don't know if they're filming because I thought Huntsville was done. I thought it was canceled. But
No,
they said that
they have been filming.
allegedly people filmed it as well. That Maurice and Marceau got into a straight up fist fight.
And how about I'm up here trying to type it online, and the first thing that pops up without me typing, only thing I've typed is Marceau. The third option is Marceau and Maurice fight video. Let me pull
Yeah.
that.
So yes, I couldn't find the video though. But
Marceau and Maurice were arrested. The video's right here.
Yeah, they said he was arrested. They said they were arrested. So
this was last week.
Yeah. So I was like, are they filming?
I did not hear about this.
Yeah, I just happened to come across something today, and I was like, I thought Huntsville was canceled.
It said they had a bloody fight.
Yeah.
And they both ended up in jail. Letitia has finally spoken out. Oh my, I heard nothing about this.
Yeah, so I didn't even know they were still filming, so I'm surprised.
Look at this.
So Joyce, I have a question. When do the all black cats the summer house?
I heard they were put on pause.
Summer house?
Yeah. Because they would be filming soon. They didn't, I don't think they filmed last summer.
Okay, so the video's not showing a fight, it's just talking about it.
So I heard they were put on pause, so I don't know.
They did the same thing with Dubai.
They put them on pause. Yeah, they put them on pause. They said that in Dubai, they can't clown like that. In the while, Dubai is more liberal than most Muslim countries, you can't act a fool in public at all. You get arrested for stuff like that.
It's very strict in Dubai.
Yeah, so everything has to be done in-house.
Who did this made up cut face? Somebody got Maurice out here looking like he dead. This is pathetic.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. So they do argue, but they have to. They have to be really careful. Because I was like, I saw somebody two people arguing at a restaurant or something, and they was like, I could guarantee you wasn't nobody there, and I can't remember, but I do remember Ayan, and somebody arguing, and they looked like they were like on a rooftop at a table. It looked like a restaurant, and they said that they can't act the fool like we can in this country. So anyway, y'all, I think that's it. It wasn't that great. If you had to give it a 1 through 10, what would you give that episode, Callie?
5.
What would you give it, Kevin?
4.
Oh wow. So y'all see why they added Phaedra?
To keep us entertained.
Well, I hope she comes in and gives us a little bit something to enjoy.
I do feel like she didn't really fit in on Married to Medicine.
Me either. Yeah,
she didn't fit at all.
I think she fit.
Yeah.
Like Phaedra want to turn up and have fun. That's why I was so surprised that Phaedra and Quad didn't get along. Because Quad really wants to turn up. Like, cause who she hang with in Atlanta is like Yandy and the Turn Up Girls. Like, that's the reason why she don't mess with them off season, because she still out there singling and mingling. She kicking it. So all right, y'all. It was nice. I thought this episode wasn't that great.
Where do you rank it or rate it?
I would give it about a 5 too. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, we about all about the same. It wasn't that great.
Yeah.
It is what it is though. Hopefully they're trying to. They gave us the electric slide and everything last week. Mm-hmm. But you can tell that Kenya isn't there.
So can.
Yeah.
Did y'all like her confessional?
I did. Did she do a second one?
No.
I did. I did like Kelly confessional with the white fur and with the I forgot what it was.
What was she talking about? I didn't watch hers.
I talked about Kelly on confessional look.
Oh,
her regular confessional look, not like the.
She did a YouTube. Have y'all watched her YouTube?
No.
Did she talk about her past due in the restaurant rent and everything?
I don't know. I didn't listen to it. I just thought about it when he mentioned it, because she did say she was doing one as well.
Oh. Well, I will say the Kenyas look better than any confessional they've done on the show. Yeah. I don't know how much she'll keep it up, but it looked good at least. She didn't really say a lot. We didn't know, but
I don't know what happened, but some lady went by Kenya's boutique last Saturday and it was closed.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I think that's sick. Like, I don't even like Kenya. And I mean, I want all of their businesses to thrive. Like that's kind of crazy
it would be nice. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice. I'd like to see it survive. I never thought it was a good idea anyway, though. I never thought it was.
Yeah, I remember you saying it last week. Yeah.
I
think I remember my daughter saying something. She thought it was on brand, but it was going to be hard when that wasn't, if she wasn't going to be in the shop, or the fact that she didn't do hair. I get that she got like products are much easier to peddle. Especially if she's willing to go to like conventions and stuff. With her name, she would sell out in seconds. Everything. And she got a team behind her, but I feel bad if it closes, because I know she wanted this. But she sure made her bed, honey. She made her bed like, ooh.
She did.
Yeah, I hate that she did that. Now every time I think about it, I be like, I don't really like Kenya, but how you gonna let this nobody kick you off your game?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Kenya went out bad. But all right, y'all.
All right.
See y'all next week. Hopefully we got a better episode coming.
Yeah, thanks for
Kevin. And next week,
Giselle,
them show starts.
Huh?
next on this Sunday, Giselle,
Oh, the
Ashley,
love show.
Luann, and Shannon are
Uh-huh.
gonna be on that love. So Giselle said on a podcast from Monday that it's really light, it should be fun, and everybody walks away with a man.
I'm not gonna watch that show.
Right.
I am.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
won't happen. Uh-uh.
I need some light. I need to laugh. That's what I miss most about Housewives. Like I watched season 3 came on Sunday. I giggled so many times. And I had forgotten how because I always watch season 5 and 6 periodically, but season 3 was good. That's when we met Phaedra and Cynthia.
Yeah, I'll go. I watched some past episodes of these existing shows too, but a dating show with Ashley and Giselle is nothing. I mean, I see both of them date on the show, and they usually don't go anywhere. So there's nothing on that. And we know Luann, she sleeps with everybody. So her and Ashley will probably be the two that are out there going 100% in with the guys. And Giselle, she has her normal conversation. Nah, don't worry. There's nothing new we can see from that. We've already seen them date on the show consistently and never end up with a serious relationship. So
But
there's
Ashley
nothing. What are we gonna look at?
falling though. We do with Ashley, girl. She be falling.
She do. She does. She
Ashley,
be
Ashley
falling.
like Portia.
She be falling, but falling with somebody different. Yes, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, she's
All
like
right, y'all.
Portia. All right, y'all. Peace out.
But we'll let you watch. We'll let you watch it, and
I'm
then
gonna
you can.
watch it.
Yeah, you can tell us if you thought it was good, because I will not be watching.
Can I be in a group chat with you guys?
Huh?
Can I be in a group chat with you guys?
In the the group.
Yes.
I gotta ask Callie. I mean, Montique and Callie and Demisio. I can't make unilateral.
What's to Monique?
Like that. Huh?
What happened to Monique?
Montique. She been busy. She's like a marketing executive. So, honey, she be busy. She be busy. So, she